Salutations, my fiendish film fanatics. I'm the Silver Screen Slasher, and welcome back to the RoboCop vs. Terminator Special. Joining me once again, Cinemastein and Spike from the Film Geek Collective.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
Hello.
Today
I need
we'll
your
be looking
swords, your
at
boats, and your motorcycle. Wait, wrong franchise.
Dead or Alive. You will enjoy this movie. Today we're looking at RoboCop, released in 1987 and directed by Paul Verhoeven, who I consider to be a very interesting director. This is honestly one of my favorite action and sci-fi films of all time, and I do consider this movie to be a bit of a rival with the other film we covered previously, The Terminator. So honestly, I figured that instead of just reviewing the Terminator film and then the RoboCop films, we do one film at a time. Keep in mind, though, after the RoboCop reboot, we'll be reviewing both Genesis and then Dark Fate. Now, gentlemen, do you have any information you'd like to say about this movie before we start?
All right, Aaron, go ahead.
Okay, yep. But yeah, like Silver said, this RoboCop came out in 1987 and was the great big blockbuster smash hit. And this film, and the story of this film starts off with a big powerful company, OCP, and
Omni Consumer Products for long term.
Yep, and one day this inventor named Dick Jones has this idea for a machine named Ed 209, who plans to make him the future of law enforcement. But unfortunately, things go south, and Ed 209 kills a poor bloke named Mr. Kinney.
Yeah, oh my God! They killed Kinney.
Yep, but I'm sure it was just a glitch.
You call that a glitch? He killed Kinney.
What I love about that scene, though, is, by the way, this is going to be a spoiler review because we're just we'll have to describe certain scenes to make sure that you know what we're talking about and stuff, and we're gonna go into full spoilers here. But okay, what I love about that scene, yes, sorry,
just want to point out one last thing. The reason and it should be pointed out that we're going by the director's cut of the film, not the theatrical cut, given that we want to go all the way up to 11 in terms of action and then violence.
I mean, we've got this rare Criterion Collection director's cut right here. I mean, I have.
Right. As well as this silly old MGM edition, which came out back in 2006.
Yeah, so I was going to say what I love about that scene is the fact that, you know, it's not only do they exaggerate the violence to make a point, like, you know, you see blood spraying everywhere over the sculpture behind him, but the fact that it's just the joke is on the corporate people, which I think it was hilarious that, you know, they just saw a man killed right in front of them in a bloody fashion, and all they're worried about is the paperwork. I mean, really.
I guess to them this is just another Monday. Before we move on, I do want to point out something pretty impressive. Ed 209 itself, which is actually a combination of multiple different effects. It was basically a stand-in, as well as the occasional stop motion and claymation. And they used multiple different animation techniques to make it look like Ed 209 was just clunkily moving around.
As with the Terminator, I'm not going to say anything about Terminator, but refer back to that review for mention of stop motion effects there. With RoboCop, I was going to say that in a similar fashion, the stop motion makes the Ed 209 look just a bit more robotic, and I believe there was a bit of go motion in there, as in go motion is basically stop motion, but when you take a photo when the object is moving, and so those go motion frames, when combined with stop motion, add sort of a motion blur effects that you would see in live action if someone was moving too fast for the camera to really just register. Maybe not quite too fast, but you know, you have that more realistic. They're not always going to be seen super clearly. You know,
it should also be pointed out that one of Ed 209's weaknesses is the same as with Johnny Five from Short Circuit. Stairs. They just don't go together.
I mean, the Daleks fit him.
I feel like we're getting a bit off topic. Can I go back to
Moving on.
Sure.
Yeah. It's
And
then we're
then-
transported to a Detroit Police Department, where we meet Officer Alex Murphy.
No.
played by Peter Wel-
Actually, there's a bit of that you missed out on. I was explaining the plot as well. But yeah. Unfortunately, after that, that brutal killing of poor Mr. Kenny. This guy named Bob Morton comes up to, I guess you could say, the chairman of the company of OCP.
Who's only referred to as the old man.
Yeah, the old man, and tells him about a program that he wants to have that he wants to officially put on, and that is
AKA
a
the
program
RoboCop
called the
project.
RoboCop program, and the old man loves the project, and the RoboCop program is greenlit. Then we come to rookie cop named Alex J. Murphy.
Played by Peter Weller, who I honestly consider to be one of my 3 favorite actors in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And also, what I like about his character is that throughout the film, one day actually as well. Sorry, one day on one tragic day, he is brutally gunned down by a man named by the name of Clarence Bodiger, who I guess you could consider
to be fair,
the second villain of the film.
Yeah, to be fair, he's mowed down by a group of criminals led by Clarence Bodiger, who in the film is played by Kurtwood Smith, who before this film was mostly known for TV dramas.
Oh, no offense, but he's actually, as well, before you guys say anything else as well about Clarence Bodiger, this is what I loved about, I believe, the first time we see him with his gang, like, his introduction. I don't know why, but I just laughed at this, even though it probably wasn't supposed to be funny.
Yeah,
but
basically,
I like when they show that they've stolen a whole bunch of money, right? But the money is burned, and I'm like, what a bunch of fuckwits! They burned the money.
Yeah, apparently the guy in charge of blowing the door used too much demolition charges and accidentally burnt the money in the process, therefore marking it and making it useless.
When I saw that, I was like, what a bunch of
freaking idiots.
It's little tiny funny things like that really make this movie for me, you know?
It should be pointed out that Murphy also has a partner, Officer Ann Lewis, played by Nancy Allen, who I mostly know for playing the bully in Carrie.
And now that's range. I mean, the bully in Carrie is just really different to the officer she plays in this movie. So yeah,
keep in mind,
range.
Speaking of, I must say, what I like about her is that I feel like throughout the films, even including the first one, she already starts to become a very likable and and I feel like she's another pretty well developed character throughout the film, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah, I mean, let's compare Nancy Allen to in Carrie, typical bully. It's hard against him. Honestly, forgive me for saying this. Whereas in RoboCop, she plays Ann Lewis. He's partner on the job, and basically, she's more sympathetic, and surprisingly enough, she actually reprises this role throughout the 2 sequels.
Oh, I did not know that. Having not seen the other 2.
Well, the more you know.
And also, after Alex J. Murphy is gunned down, well, let's just say he's rushed to the hospital, and thankfully of the OCP, including Bob Morton, they give him one hell of an upgrade by turning him into the half-man, half-machine named RoboCop. Oh, and one more thing as well before you guys say anything else. What I like about Alex Murphy or RoboCop, right, is that throughout the film as well, he slowly starts to remember his old life by slowly putting the pieces back together. And what I also like about this is that it's the life that he once had, but now unfortunately things came crashing down when, of course, some asshole named Clarence Bodiger took it all away from him, and now slowly he has to start putting the pieces back together to remember. Not only do we feel sympathy for the character,
this is one of the things I love about
this
RoboCop.
is just great character development.
Yeah, exactly. It's one thing about RoboCop is basically RoboCop's struggle to try as human before he's thrust into the armor.
Hang on. Chris. Sorry to interrupt, but basically it was really glitching back there.
Sorry, what I was trying to point out was as the themes of Murphy, basically, while now known as RoboCop, trying to struggle to hold on to his own humanity while still, mostly machine.
Yep.
I mean, as the film goes on, he regains more and more of his memory. And eventually tracks down all the criminals that bowed him down, as well as digging up a bit of corporate chaos, so to speak, with OCP.
I feel like the main villain of the piece is actually underwhelming compared to Clarence Boddicker. I mean, Kurtwood Smith plays Clarence Boddicker so well that you just remember him more. And also the fact that, may I point out, Kurtwood Smith is also a great actor. Not only is he Red's father in that 70s show, but he's also another character's father in Dead Poets Society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as I mentioned previously, Kurtwood Smith
he was also
previously
in a bit of Rambo 3.
Oh.
Yeah, like I said earlier, Kurtwood Smith before this movie was mostly known for TV dramas. So you didn't really see it. So you only saw him as a sort of serious character. Not he only went fully serious after he did Clarence.
And he improvised in RoboCop. He improvised the line about wanting a fucking phone call.
Yeah. Eventually, though, things come to a bit of a head, because after RoboCop, eventually he tears down all of most of Clarence's gang and books him. He heads straight to the top after Clarence is convinced that he works for Dick, who is fortune. It should be. He pointed out that also the public trust, protect the innocent, and uphold the law. All of which he upholds very gratefully throughout. Unfortunately, though, it turns out that he was smart enough to implement Directive 4, basically meaning that he can't harm any senior OCP officials.
Which I think personally, I think that has a connection to Isaac Asimov. Was it Isaac Asimov that made the 3 laws?
Yeah.
Because you can't harm.
It is sort of similar to 3 rules of robotics. It's in the and so in the process of trying to arrest Dick Jones, Directive 4 is enabled with RoboCop, and he's almost forced shut down like a Windows 95 computer.
Oh, I'm sorry, Windows 95. I wish I could use one of those.
And unfortunately, if we haven't seen enough corruption, I know that Dick Jones has a corrupt police sergeant in his pocket, and he uses him to turn most of the entire Detroit Police Department against Murphy, gunning him down in a much more less brutal way than Clarence's gang did, but still.
I mean, he's mostly machine at that point. It's not like he's going to bleed and have viscera dangling from his arm in the sequence where he's first coming out.
You know what I just realized, and this just came to my mind now? What I also like about Alex J. Murphy is that I feel like as well at times, and think about this, he's like kind of trapped within himself, if you know, in his own like kind of robotic state. Like, he's just because when I just thought about this when Dick Jones even said to him, "You're our product. We own you." And he's in some sort of way he's a guy who's at the same time sort of lost his free will. But what's so great is that in the end he conquers this, if you know, and just he strikes back and he proves it and he proves that he is human and he can still have the right to have free will, and that is great character development and a great character struggle, especially when they treat him kind of like also a comic book superhero in this movie. Oh, and another thing as well that I wanted to say though that I feel like we should get to at some point is this film has some of the most iconic and some of the greatest lines ever.
Oh, can I say RoboCop is also a walking Jesus metaphor if you really think about it. Many people have said that he's a walking.
Yeah,
metaphor.
actually, I did hear about that.
Yeah. Honestly, I still don't see it, but I basically just see him, as I mentioned earlier, as just a ghost inside a machine.
Oh, can I just want to add though also that Paul Verhoeven, the director of the film, he actually is an atheist, but he has a fascination with Jesus Christ. So, I'm wondering if that's intentional. That RoboCop was more of a Jesus parable.
Cyber symbolism, I guess.
I guess.
Symbolism!
All right, that joke was borrowed.
Yeah. In a way, also one other thing that should be mentioned is the talking heads bits that are intercut in between the movie. Yeah, mainly due to the news station and media break, which provides social commentary on what's happening around the world as well as what's happening in Detroit.
Yeah.
As well as being intercut with ridiculous commercials that wouldn't even be run 1987 standards.
Mm.
For example,
some of the most goofiest commercials ever. That probably one of my favorites was Nukem, and I'm like, that is so stupid because it literally sounds like a board game where it's called, like Nuke Them. What a dumbass
Here's
name.
the thing, though.
Yeah, it's meant to be dumb.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. It only took me now to realize that game's a goddamn parody of Battleship.
It is actually.
Oh man, like I think it's intentionally dumb. I think that what they're trying
it
to
was
say
intentional.
is they're trying to sell violence to everyone when violence is not the answer. That's what I think of it.
Do you know what I learned as well? Actually, as well, a little bit of an effect there. Speaking of the director, I know we've now already mentioned him quite a few times, but he also put those in there actually on purpose because he just kind of for some reason wanted to make fun of those really cheesy, stupid, I believe, like ads of the '80s, and just thought it'd be fun to put them in there.
Oh yeah, and then ads had to do
also
with
include
crazy
commercials.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. That would also include car commercials, which is why car in the whole film. The 6,000 SUX. And honestly, it's just a dumb car. Anyway, back to the only reason that RoboCop isn't scrap metal and nothing but a bunch of fleshy hits is because Lewis saved his ass.
Consumerist culture permeates this film. I mean, they want the stupid car, they have the stupid ads, they have the stupid show that people find funny. I'd buy that for $1.
Speaking of, I was about to get to that. This film also has some of the most memorable lines, like that one that they just quoted there. I'd buy that for $1. And
my
who's a
personal
cop
favorite.
killer?
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
And dead or alive, you are coming with me. Probably the most iconic one ever. Come quietly, or there will be trouble. Oh, and last but not least, there's also, I believe, two others by Dick Jones, or at least two that I find memorable. I had to kill Bob Morton because he made a mistake. Now it's time to erase that mistake.
And then there's my
and of course, well, another one of the most iconic lines ever. I'm sure it's just a glitch. Temporary setback.
You call this a glitch? Of course, I still have one personal favorite. It's courtesy of Clarence Boddicker. See, I got this problem. Cops don't like me. So I don't like cops.
Well, yeah. It's a very menacing scene. I mean, I think that the villains are a bit over the top as well. Like, he's when Clarence says to the guy in the van, "Can you fly, Bobby?" and then he just sends him out. And that's definitely exaggerated. But
too.
I think that the sequence where they're shooting up Murphy, well, you know what I mean. Not shooting up as in heroin, but shooting up
Yeah,
as in gun.
basically blowing him to bits.
Mm. Yeah, that is legitimately menacing. The sadistic pleasure they're taking out of just shooting the poor the guy.
Yeah.
Sorry,
And
Murphy's
now
not
I want to mention
good.
something.
Why am I saying that? Sorry.
And now I want to mention something pretty important. The two different versions of this film. The theatrical version and the director's cut. The reason for this is the difference in terms of quote unquote gore in the film. Basically how much blood and body parts are blown around throughout at the different versions of the film. In the theatrical cut, it's more tame. So basically, it's a soft R. But the
Bit
director's
more
cut,
tame.
yeah. But in the director's cut, it's a much more violent meaning for a hard R.
Well, I would say that during the shooting scene when Murphy's getting killed off, I think they had a headshot. Like you see his head, you see the back of his head come away almost from the back,
Yeah.
and I think there's an extra angle of his hand being shot off when they say "give the man a hand." I think that's
Yeah.
added in.
As well as an extra scene of his whole arm getting blown off, man.
Mm. I always, that's one of the first things I think of when I think of that. I'm surprised. I'm actually not surprised. That's just the director's cut because that
Yeah.
is
I mean,
not.
seriously, the first time I saw that, I was like, damn.
Yeah, even when I saw that scene for myself, I was like, dang, this is just painful to watch. Even
Yep.
as soon as I even just saw his hand got blown off at first, I was like,
Anyway,
holy
eventually,
shit, that would feel so unpleasant.
moving on, and sometime later, all of Clarence and all of his remaining goons are let out of prison, and with new cars and new toys to play with. More specifically, the Cobra assault cannon, state of the art, bang bang. Basically it's a big ass sniper rifle that can shoot incendiary rounds. Basically bullets that go boom instantly.
No offense to the name when they call them sniper rifles, but or I mean, sorry, cannons. But yeah, if why do they call them cannons? I mean, they're literally just sniper rifles, but 10 times more powerful. But
Well, from their logic, I think they call them cannons because of their explosive power. They're like little mini cannons to them, and guns.
maybe
Yeah,
we'll just call them
basically
sniper cannons.
think of it this way. You take the cannon, you take the barrel of a tank, shrink it down, add a big ass scope to it, and give it explosive bullets. Boom! The Cobra assault cannon.
Oh, do you know another thing that, no offense, that's on the topic of guns? Probably actually another one of the most famous thing about RoboCop is his gun in general.
Yes.
Especially when he does that classic spinning thing that his son, and that's based off an old TV show that he saw that his son used to watch, and he just thought he would try and do that.
That is a good character thing. Yeah, the stereotypical. I'm not sure if it was even a western he was watching, but yeah, he does spin the gun, and
It was actually a sci-fi show called TJ Laser that Murphy's son was watching.
You know
I
how
couldn't
famous
remember
that gun of
exactly,
his is?
but
It was also featured even, or at least inspired off a gun that you'd see in an expansion pack, I should say, to, of course, the old game Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon.
Yeah, and the gun itself is referred to as the Auto 9. It's basically a custom
alright.
machine gun pistol.
Yeah, but
Apologies.
off topic with all the gun talk though.
Yeah, anyway,
We
sorry,
apologize,
it's just
Spike. We were going full geek mode.
understandable. Anyway, Silver, do you want to get to the last few minutes, I believe, of the film?
Of course. Eventually, Lewis managed just to lead RoboCop to the abandoned warehouse district, because of course there's one in every city in America. And at some point, Murphy, which I'm now going to refer to Robo as, is unscrews the helmet off his head, and my God, the makeup effects are just brilliant. And the way they actually make it look like the only part of RoboCop Murphy left from RoboCop is his face and his brain. And by
Yeah, that's
God,
really
that
impressive.
looks impressive.
And kind of fucked up at the same time, but in a cool and,
Yeah,
movie way.
it's twisted. Yeah, you can't look away. And of course, in a sort of best friends way, Murphy and reconnect with each other, and Lewis even helps Murphy with a fix up his aiming and his targeting system, since it was messed up in the previous fight.
Mm.
And then we get to the second last action scene of the movie. Basically, Murphy and Lewis taking on Clarence, and what's left of it is Rowdy Misfits. And of course, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I still maintain Clarence is more memorable than a man with excessively long arms falling out of a window.
Yeah, and a man, especially for a man called Dick. The point is,
I'm laughing at both the name choice and, well, no offense to anyone actually called Dick out there. I'm sorry.
yeah, we apologize to anyone named Richard.
Well,
Yeah.
one thing I also want to mention
But the
as
long
well
arms are hilarious, though. The
is
stop motion long arm.
one scene in the second last action sequence where this guy's trying to run over RoboCop, but just in the nick of time, Murphy moves out of the way, and that guy goes into toxic waste. And the makeup effects on him, and when I saw that scene, I was like, "Ooh, Jesus,
that look scary."
I'll use this to segue into
even one of his own teammates are scared of him, for crying out loud.
I want to use this segue to the TV edit of the scene, which actually they filmed an alternate take where the car avoids the toxic waste man, in fact. But yeah, in the original, of course, you see the car, boom, and he just splatters all over the windshield.
Actually, just, of course, yeah. Basically, either Gundar's Emil got turned into the Toxic Avenger. Kind of, sort of. Until eventually he got turned into a bug on the windshield and went.
I must say, when I saw that as well, I was like, whoa, you just really got run over like a bug or whatever.
Yeah. Honestly, I agree with Clarence. Ah, shit. Eventually it's down to Clarence and Murphy. He will admit, Murphy does get a few more hits. It does take a few more hits, including being crushed by a bunch of steel pipes and impaled by one directly through his chest. Of course, Murphy does get his comeuppance when he unsheathes the data spike in his right fist, jams it through Clarence's neck, and just rips his throat out.
Well, not quite. I believe that in the scene he stabs him and blood spurts out.
Yeah,
but
it just spurts out. It doesn't really rip anything out.
Yeah.
When I saw that scene, I thought that scene was gnarly. Oh, the blood and the effects, just love it.
I mostly remember is him just ramming the spike through his neck and then just thrusting his arm to the right, which is basically a way of slitting his throat, so to speak.
Well, I feel like it was like in out. I feel like that's what he did.
Honestly, at the angle it's shown, we don't really see the whole carnage. But the point is, Clarence actually dies from the throat wound. And eventually, and now Murphy has one last mission to take care of. Yes, dead or alive, Dick Jones has to be taken care of. And of course, he takes care of his dick. Yeah, and of course, he has to take care of the guard dog, aka Ed 209, guarding the front door of OCP. He makes quick work of it with the leftover Cobra assault cannon, and just leaves nothing but a pair of legs behind. Yes. And after Murphy makes his way up and using the previously mentioned data spike to show record evidence that they confessed to Bob Morton's murder, Dick grabs a gun and holds the old man hostage, and wanting a chopper so that he can get away. Of course, in response, the old man fires Dick Jones, which somehow deletes Directive 4. And the process allows Murphy to just blow him away.
It does not.
And also, sorry, Spike, before you say...
Hang on. It does not delete Directive 4, because if he's fired, he's no longer part of the corporation that he couldn't harm.
But if that's the case, why did that directive just disappear?
Well, okay, yeah, that's a good point. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Anyway, as mentioned, and Murphy at this point.
Hold on, I wanted to say something. Oh, and also, when Dick Jones was shot out the window, well, he turned into old man long arms, and someone got fired for that effect.
Wait.
I'm sorry, but that
Yeah.
long arm effect as he's falling down is just
I must say,
hilarious.
though, God, that is awful. That is just
Hold on.
so
Yeah.
shit looking.
Hold on. Just want to clarify. Did someone actually get fired for that effect?
I don't know.
I think well, at least that's what I heard. I think.
We joke about it, but at this point, I don't really care. The movie's
Well,
almost
still,
over.
it's just so fun to make fun of. Just no offense, this film has a lot of great effects, but probably the one thing as well I must say that I'll nitpick about this film is that effect. Good God, that's gotta go.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, afterwards, the old man and applauds Murphy for a shooting, and applauds Robo for a shooting, and asks him what his name is. He simply responds with one word: Murphy. And that's how the movie ends. And that's RoboCop in a nutshell. I'm not gonna lie. The movie isn't flawless, but I still consider it to be one of my favorite action movies of all time.
And it ends at the absolute perfect moment. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Like some films just go on, oh, here's your happy ending, bask in it, fine, yes, yes. But films like RoboCop and The Fly just end where they end, you know?
Yeah, unlike certain other movies. Judge Dredd. Sorry. Sorry. Allergic reaction to bad movies.
I'm not sure I should. Okay,
Anywho, as for my final thoughts, RoboCop is a mix of sci-fi and action, and I still consider it to be a rival to Terminator. But however, I'm not. I'm only rating it this way because of favoritism. I'm gonna give this movie 10 out of 10.
I personally give it an 8.
And as for Mr. Stein,
Yep. First off, still I still love this film because and here's what I want to say about this and also my last few things about it. What I also loved about is what of course RoboCop like Terminator's after its big blockbuster smash hit success, it is nothing more than a fun action-packed bloody ride of an action film, and of course gave birth to 2 more sequels, a shitty remake, and 3 video games,
as
and
well as
also
several
appeared
TV.
in the DLC for Mortal Kombat alongside Ed 209, and also
Not to
appeared in the
mention several
crossover
TV shows and cartoons.
comic book with Terminator in Frank Miller's Terminator versus RoboCop. So just to give you an idea how popular RoboCop is still to this day. And still, my final thoughts are well, RoboCop to me, I'm actually might I wouldn't say I would give it a 10 out of 10, but I also might go a little bit higher on like Spike's score. No offense, but I might give this a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
So
The
somewhere
reason why I'm
between.
not giving it a full like rating is because still for that shitty effect of old man long arms.
Well, okay, so let me explain my 8 out of 10. My 8 out of 10 means it's still a great movie. It's just, it's not up there with the very best of 9s and 10s. You know, you really got to earn a 9 or a 10. But, and like RoboCop's an easy 8 for me. It's still really good, you know?
Understandable.
Hmm.
I mean, after all, we all have our opinions on these films.
Of course. And I buy that for $1.
Well, I
Next
guess that's it, folks. And I guess we'll be back with another episode.
Oh,
next
one
time.
final piece of trivia. Did you know that if you go back and watch the RoboCop 1 trailer, it uses the same music from the Terminator? Dun 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 dun. You know, it actually
What?
does.
Go
I'm
figure.
surprised they didn't get sued. Oh, and
The same
actually,
company.
almost one more bit of trivia or an interesting fact. RoboCop was actually they also got a bit of the idea of Judge Dredd.
Oh.
Speaking of Terminator, next when we come back next week, we're gonna dive into a little bit more something a little bit more perfect between all of us as we dive into Terminator 2 Judgment Day. If you like this video, like it, and if you want to support the channel even further, please subscribe. Until next time, see
I
you
love
soon,
that.
my friends.
Wait.
Later.
Ah.